history of Kenya's Public Service Commission dates back to 1954, when the Civil Service Commission was established by the British colonial government following the Holmes Commission report in 1948. Civil Service Commission was advisory to the governor in matters of appointments. At independence in 1963, it was enshrined in the Constitution and renamed Public Service Commission. The Independence Constitution had regional public service commissions but was abolished in 1964 following constitutional amendments. It is the oldest constitutional commission and its mandate has expanded over the years. At the time, the commission comprised of a chairman, a deputy chairman, and 15 members, all appointed by the president. Since then, the commission has continued to deal with matters of human resource management and discipline in the public service and currently the devolved governments. Vice Chairperson Charity Kisotu explains more of the commission's mandate.
The Public Service Commission is the oldest of the commissions and independent offices listed in Chapter 15 of the Constitution, and its mandate is very well articulated in Article 233 of the Constitution. The mandate of the Commission includes the provision of competent human resource, promotion of good governance, and ensuring that there is efficiency and effectiveness in the provision of quality services to Kenyans citizens.
The Constitution of Kenya 2010, promulgated on 27 August 2010, reconstituted the Commission with a redefined and expanded mandate and a lean membership of chairperson, vice chairperson, and 7 members, and the secretary and CEO. Simon Rotich, the Commission Secretary and CEO, gives us more details on how the Secretariat is structured.
Commission Secretariat is structured in such a way that it is headed by the Commission Secretary, who is also the CEO, and reports directly to the Commission Board. And the CEO is assisted by 2 Deputy Commission Secretaries, one responsible for corporate services and another one responsible for technical services. The 2 Deputy Commission Secretaries have directorates who report to them, the directors, namely in the technical department, the directorates that report directly to DCS Technical Services are Director Recruitment and Selection, Director Human Resource Management and Development, Director Establishment and Management Consultancy Services, and Compliance Services. There's Directorate of Performance Service Delivery Transformation. There's Directorate of Finance and Planning, and Directorate of Legal, and finally Directorate of Corporate Services. That is how the commission is structured. Alongside the directorates, they also have secretariat who support them.
The role of the Commission Board entails providing strategic direction and decision-making, as well as guidance and leadership to the service in line with the mandate of the Commission as articulated in the Constitution and other applicable legislation. Pursuant to the provisions of Article 234, Section 5 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and Section 12 of the Public Service Commission Act 2017, the Commission has established standing committees and ad hoc committees for better execution of its functions. The committees that comprise of commissioners and secretariat staff are as follows: Compliance and Quality Assurance, Terms and Conditions of Service, County Appeals and Devolution Matters, Human Resource Planning, Establishment and Recruitment, Finance, Planning, ICT and General Purpose, Human Resource Development Committee, Performance Improvement Committee, and the Audit Committee.
We also have ad hoc committees that are constituted from time to time as need arises to handle specific assignments. And once the assignments are done, those committees, the ad hoc committee is dissolved.
But how do these committees work? The Standing Committee on Compliance and Quality Assurance has key functions to perform as derived from Article 234 of the Constitution. This includes promote the values and principles referred to in Article 10 and 232 throughout the public service. Investigate, monitor and evaluate the organization, administration and personnel practices of the public service. Evaluate and report to the President and Parliament on the extent to which the values and principles referred to in Article 10 and 232 are complied with in the public service. Review guidelines for carrying out investigations. Review the monitoring and evaluation framework. Consider reports on investigations, monitoring and evaluation of the organization, administration and personnel practices, analyze and weld declaration reports and make appropriate recommendations, and address any other related matter as may be referred to the committee. Simon Wachinga, the Director of Compliance and Quality Assurance, explains the process followed in evaluating the status of compliance with the values and principles.
The process of evaluating the values and principles of the public services contained in the Article 10 and Article 232 of the Constitution are systematic and methodical. And this entails the following steps. 1. Nomination of the Interdepartmental Technical Committee, reviewing the thematic areas, performance standards and indicators, development of the evaluation tools or survey instruments, piloting the evaluation tools with the MDAs, sensitizing the HR auditors and the heads of HR and people in charge of governance in all sectors of the public service, conduct the data collection, data analysis, report writing, report approval and adoption, translation of the report into Kiswahili and Braille, submission of the report to the President and the Parliament, and dissemination of the report to OMDAs and the public.
The functions of the Terms and Conditions of Service Standing Committee that derives its powers from Article 234 of the Constitution are as follows. Investigate, monitor and evaluate the organization, administration and personnel practices of the public service. Ensure that the public service is efficient and effective. Develop human resources in the public service. Review and make recommendations to the national government in respect of conditions of service, code of conduct and qualifications of officers in the public service. In the process of performing the above functions, the committee purposes mechanisms for engaging with trade unions, engages trade unions, Ministry of Labour and other players on terms and conditions of service for public officers in the national government, analyzes proposals on terms and conditions of service before presentation to the Commission, and engages the Salaries and Remuneration Commission on terms and conditions of service for public officers. It is through this committee that the Commission exercises disciplinary control in the public service. John Machayo, the Director and Secretary of this committee, explains more on the principles that govern disciplinary control in the public service.
The Commission is a respecter of the rule of law and strictly adheres to what is provided in law when dealing with disciplinary issues. The principles include the following: the rules of natural justice, which include procedural fairness, where an officer must be allowed adequate opportunity to prepare and present his or her case. And that's why in our discipline manual, we provide for the timelines to which officers and the authorized officers must take into consideration when handling a disciplinary case. And that is what we call natural justice. Give me time to respond to the charges. Impartiality of the deciding authority when hearing and making decisions. That is again a principle that we must be impartial. Decisions which are based on logical proof or evidential materials. You see, we need to have evidence so that we are not just treating people in a way that they can regard as being unfair. So that what we were saying earlier, an investigation must be conducted where evidence is allowed. That's why we say, please, as much as possible in a disciplinary case, document, and document. The other principle relates to fair administrative action, which is expeditious, efficient, lawful, reasonable, and procedurally fair. This is provided for under the Fair Administrative Action Act, and the Public Service Commission has undertaken within its guidelines to institute fair administrative action where an officer is being disciplined, and therefore every person to whom disciplinary action is taken has the right, for example, and this is fair administrative action, written reasons for any disciplinary action that is undertaken. Why am I being disciplined? Why is it a gross misconduct? Number 2, prior and adequate notice of nature and reasons for the intended disciplinary action. So you must be told what is the nature of offense and why am I being disciplined for this offense. Number 3, an opportunity to be heard and make representation. And normally, the persons will be allowed to even come with their representatives during a hearing. You can come with your lawyer, you can come with your trade union representative, you can come with your friend. So this is within the disciplinary process. Number 4, an opportunity to attend proceedings in person or in the company of an expert of choice, cross-examine persons who give adverse evidence and request for adjournment of proceedings where necessary. So that if I am undergoing a disciplinary process and I feel unwell, I can request for an adjournment of the proceedings and it should be allowed. Where I have brought a representative, he should be given a chance to prosecute my case before the disciplinary hearing committee. 5, legal representation where affected officer so requests. So an officer can be allowed to come with their legal representative. Notice of a right to an appeal review against the disciplinary action. I have already mentioned this. Number 7, information, materials, and evidence to be relied upon in making a decision or taking a disciplinary action. These are what we call the fair administrative actions that you must take into consideration whenever you are undertaking a disciplinary process. And the Commission shall look at the case as submitted to the board or to the Commission and see if indeed there was fair administrative action or not.
The Standing Committee on County Appeals and Devolution Matters performs the following functions in the Commission: establish and abolish offices in the public service, work in collaboration with Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, also known as IGRTC, and other related government agencies to ensure smooth transition to devolved system, provide technical support to county governments on human resource matters, consider county appeals and make recommendations to the Commission for determination and decision, ensuring procedural fairness, hearing cases where applicable, and address any other related matter as may be referred to the committee. But what is the procedure followed when lodging a county appeal to the Commission?
The County Government Public Service Appeals Procedures and Regulations 2016 provide a clear procedure to be followed when lodging and processing county appeals. The regulations generally require the Commission to receive, hear, and determine an appeal within 4 months of receiving the appeal. The appeal procedure entails the following steps. Step number 1 is receipt of the appeal at the Commission. Step number 2, upon receipt of the appeal, the Commission notifies the relevant county government public service institution of the appeal within 7 days of the lodging of that appeal. The county government public service institution is required to submit all records in relation to the appeal, including proceedings that led to the decision being appealed against within 14 days of receiving the notice.
The committee will hold a preliminary meeting to review the appeal file within 21 days of the reply being filed. Where there is insufficient information to make a determination in relation to an appeal, the Commission may investigate the matter further in order to obtain the required information necessary to make a determination. The Commission's Committee on County Appeals convenes a final meeting within 21 days of preliminary meeting or within 14 days of obtaining findings under Regulation 1116 to consider all the information and documents in relation to the appeal and make a final determination in accordance with Regulation 11, subsection 10. The Appeals Committee deliberates and makes its findings and recommendations to the Commission within 14 days of the final hearing or the final written submissions made in relation to an appeal as provided in Regulation 16. The Commission then considers the recommendation of the committee and makes a final decision on the appeal within 14 days of receiving the recommendations of the County Appeals Committee under Regulation 17. The decision of the Commission is then communicated to the appellant and the respondent in writing within 7 days from the date the Commission makes the decision, as guided by Regulation 19.
In order for the Commission to achieve its mandate and functions of establishing and abolishing offices in the public service as per Article 234 of the Constitution, the Commission formed a standing committee on human resource planning, establishment and recruitment. This committee is also mandated to appoint persons to hold or act on those offices and confirm their appointments. In order to achieve this, the committee is tasked with the following responsibilities: making proposals for reviewing the recruitment and selection policy in the public service, analyzing and scrutinizing indents submitted by state departments and make appropriate recommendations, analyzing requests on appointments and promotions and make appropriate recommendations, proposing criteria for ensuring that all appointments comply with the Constitution, analyzing requests on promotion on merit and making appropriate recommendations, develop a staff establishment database for the civil service, develop career progression framework for the civil service, among others. Commissioner Andrew Muriuki, the chairperson of this committee, explains more on what measures the Commission has taken to ensure a predictable planning process for recruitment and selection for vacancies in MDAs.
Recruitment in public service is informed by vacant positions that are in the approved establishment. And when such a vacancy arises, the authorized officer declares such a vacancy to the Commission for filling in accordance with the existing service regulations, and in order to ensure a predictable planning for recruitment and selection is in place, the Commission has undertaken currently to develop a human resource master plan whose objective is to provide an integrated approach for determining the HR requirements in the public service, and also subsequently design policies, strategies and procedures for improvement of the HR management systems and processes. One key deliverable of this master plan is a detailed recruitment plan, which will inform future Commission recruitment and selection for the MDAs. The Commission also ensures that MDAs have budget in place to support the recruitment plan. And the last one is that MDAs submit returns on recruitment to assist in decision making on recruitment.
The recruitment process in the Commission is fairly lengthy and involves the following steps: declaration of vacancies by MDAs to the Commission, advertisement of vacant posts, receipt of applications and verifications, shortlisting of candidates, conducting of interviews and final selection, and appointment decisions. Commissioner Andrew Muriuki explains how the Commission ensures equity and fairness during the recruitment.
As outlined in the Constitution, the Commission advertises vacant positions in a manner that reaches the widest pool of potential applicants. This includes relevant websites, at least one daily newspaper of nationwide coverage, electronic media and digital platforms, and the adverts are also shared with the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, the Council of Governors, Regional Commissioners, and County Commissioners. During shortlisting and recruitment and final selection, slots are allocated to each region based on population distribution data provided by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. This practice also considers diversity within the counties in terms of gender and disability considerations. In addition, the Commission puts into consideration the following legal provisions. Article 227(5) of the Constitution of Kenya.
Sorry, take it from Article 27.
Yeah. Article 27(5) of Constitution of Kenya, which provides that not more than 2/3 of appointments shall be of the same gender. Article 54(2), 55, and 56 of the Constitution, which emphasizes on the need for affirmative action. Article 10 and Article 232(1) of the Constitution, which emphasizes equal opportunities in appointment.
The Standing Committee for the Human Resource Development is tasked with the following functions at the Public Service Commission: formulation, interpretation and monitoring of human resource management and development policies, rules, regulations and procedures in the public service, development of human resources in the public service, development and implementation of performance management systems in the public service, development and review of human resource planning guidelines and succession management strategy for the public service, development of discipline and appeals policies and exercising disciplinary control, establishment of systems for hearing and determining appeals from the county government, embracing the best practices in human resource management and development, and promoting employee wellness and welfare services. Dr. Mary Muyandi, the chairperson of the committee, gives more details on its terms of reference in the Commission.
The functions of this committee is really concerns with the human resource, and it derives its functions from the Article 234(2)(f) of the Kenyan Constitution, which states that the Commission, the Public Service Commission, shall, in general, bigger picture, develop the human resources for the entire public service of the country. In short, we are saying that when it comes to the functions of this committee, we are saying that at the end of every meeting, we think about the general resource, the human resource of the public service. There are specific terms of reference that the committee works from. One is to make proposals on aligning the human resource development to the Constitution of Kenya. So our first point of call is always refer to the Constitution of the country. Then, of course, we also analyze the needs assessment reports from the state departments. As you're aware, where state departments is what people normally call the ministries. So the needs are aligned, the proposals, what it is they need, is all dealt with by this committee. And it's not just the aligning the human resource, we also look at the training needs of the state departments. And it is this committee, therefore, that analyzes all those reports that come from the ministries and we see to which areas need training, and we propose and we pass it on to the board. And this is how we give energy and new skills to the people that work, or to us, the ministries. We're also dealing with the civil servants. They need to continuously be trained, and this is one the committee deals with that before it is rolled out. We also develop modalities of carrying out training impact assessment in the service. Again, it's not enough to just train. We need to see the impact, and it is that impact that helps in developing and improving the service to mwananchi.
Standing Committee on Finance, Planning, ICT and General Purpose. In order to understand how this committee works, Charity Kisotu, the Vice Chairperson of the Public Service Commission and Chairperson of this committee, explains more.
The functions of the Committee on Finance, Planning and ICT and General Purpose are derived from Article 233, subsection 1 of the Constitution and Section 16, Part 3 and 15 of the Public Service Commission Act of 2017. The committee terms of reference include develop proposals on strategic direction of the Commission. 2 is to monitor implementation of the Commission strategic plan and performance contract. Thirdly is to formulate proposals on restructuring and staffing of the Commission's Secretariat. The committee also analyzes the budget proposals of the Commission and make recommendations for approval to the board. It also proposes modalities for collaboration and cooperation between the Commission and other public service commissions in the region and other bodies. And finally, it addresses any other related matter as may be referred to the committee. Remember, the committee is on general purpose, so any other assignment that cannot be handled by any other committee is actually taken to the general purpose committee.
And finally, there is the Performance and Improvement Standing Committee, whose responsibility is to ensure that policies, strategies and service delivery are aligned by developing a national performance management framework to align institutions and performance management tools and instruments, advising on establishment of appropriate institutional framework for managing performance in public service, and ensuring performance contract targets are results focused. Commissioner Ambassador Salma Ahmed, the chairperson of the committee, explains the significance of the committee in the commission.
The functions of the Performance Improvement Committee is anchored on Article 234, subsection 2E of the Constitution, which mandates the Public Service Commission to ensure that the public service is efficient and effective. The decision, therefore, to establish the Performance Management Committee was informed by the growing need for the public service to improve its focus on producing results that benefit the public. The committee plays both advisory and supervisory roles, and this includes establishing what services citizens need from public service institutions and determining service delivery gaps. The committee also has responsibility to ensure that policies, strategies, and service delivery are in alignment. How do we do this? We do this by developing a national performance management framework to align institutions and performance management tools and instruments. Number 2, we also do this by advising on establishment of appropriate institutional framework for managing performance in public service. And we also do this by ensuring performance contract targets are results focused. So it's a combination of ways whereby the citizen is actually put at the center of public service delivery.
The Public Service Commission is currently implementing a 5-year strategic plan 2019 to 2024, whose aspiration is to achieve a citizen-centric public service by reforming the public service for efficient and effective service delivery to Kenyans. Charity Kisotu, the Vice Chairperson of the Commission, tells us more about this strategic plan.
The Commission is currently implementing a strategic plan covering the period 2019 to 2024, whereas previous strategic planning cycles tended to focus almost entirely on mandate-driven goals and functions of the Commission. The current strategic plan is driven by and anchored on a clear philosophy on reform, perform, and transform. And the central concept provides that for people and institutions to perform, reform is necessary as a precondition. Ultimately, the sequence of outcomes implies that as public institutions and public servants begin to perform, they lay the foundation for enduring public service transformation. The Commission is actually focused on improving performance, professionalism, and productivity through a citizen-centric approach. What we mean by a citizen-centric approach is actually putting the citizen at the center of everything, at the center of service delivery.
In the Commission's transformation agenda since 2010, when it became independent, key achievements have been realized as follows. Strengthened the Commission's legislative and policy framework through the enactment of PSC Act 2017 and development of PSC regulations. Strengthened the human resource management and development function through the development and issuance of human resource management policies and guidelines to the service. Established proportionate representation quota on appointment of ethnic communities in the public service. Promoted diversity in the public service through compliance with 2/3 gender rule. Progressive inclusion of persons with disability, minorities, and marginalized communities. Enhance the human resource capacity of county governments through transfer of 66,000 national public service officers to the counties. Developed and issued a framework for the promotion of values and principles of governance and public service. Promoted public service performance through the implementation of the Public Service Excellence Award and rewarded public officers for exemplary performance in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018. Established a Citizen Service Delivery Satisfaction Baseline Index in the public service during the 2015-2016 financial year, and improved internal business processes and the Commission's service delivery efficiency through ICT integration. Some of the key transformational programs the current Commission is undertaking include review of organizational structures for MDAs, reinvigoration of performance management, succession management, rapid result initiatives, business process reengineering, human resource master planning, legislation review and strengthening, and Public Service Delivery Excellence Awards, PSEA. Ambassador Salma Ahmed gives us details on the plans that are on the card to help the Commission meet this demand.
We recently embarked on an RRI, that is Rapid Result Initiative, for the Pensions Department, where over 40,000 pensioners who had waited for years to receive their pensions were able to be processed within 100 days, and they were able to be paid their pensions, which were long overdue. We also have re-engineered the Department of Immigration to make sure that passports and other documentations that are required by citizens are delivered in good time. We have succeeded to keep our service delivery not only ongoing, but also improving and leveraging ICT, because that's where the world actually is going.
For the purposes of oversight, to whom does the Commission report to when executing its mandate?
The Commission accounts for execution of its mandate through publication of an annual report in compliance with Article 254, subsection 1 of the Constitution and Section 90 of the Public Service Commission Act of 2017. The two provisions require the Commission to give an account of its operation to His Excellency the President and Parliament through the annual report to demonstrate how it executes its mandate and expended the resources availed to it during the financial year.
In the course of implementing its mandate, the Commission has also encountered several challenges. Simon Rotich, the Commission Secretary and CEO, explained further.
The Commission is a key player in national development, and at times our contribution to national development is hampered by a number of factors. One, of course, is the inadequate budgetary allocations to run the planned programs and activities. Considering that the Commission has an expanded mandate So when you have inadequate funding, you may not be able to actually achieve the set plans. The other aspect that's a challenge to the Commission is the low levels of IT penetration, limited access to internet, to communication devices, and poor internet and mobile connectivity in some parts of the country. These are slowed down plans to move as many operations as possible on the information technology platforms that would yield enhanced services such as recruitment. We also have this challenge of inadequate capacity by the county public service boards to handle matters related to their mandates. Some of these have resulted in a number of issues which could have been conclusively handled at these boards, but they end up being referred to the Commission. This therefore clogs the program of the Commission unnecessarily. The other challenge is that most public service institutions are still largely inward-looking. They focus on narrow mandates and functions at the expense of the entire public service delivery chain that should embrace an integrated all-of-government approach to public service delivery.